straight to you from San Antonio, Mayan village in Belize, and we're having our bake-off. We have our first contestant right here. She is throwing down. She doesn't know that she's going to lose to one of us because our food is going to be better.
She already lost.
Okay. We have our grill cooking here, and we have our expert taste tester. He's going to tell us if we can make it back to San Ignacio.
Andy.
Andy, he's being tapped in.
Take it.
Skylar, do you think you're prepared to throw down with the tortillas?
I think Andy got good though. Andy's going.
Yeah. I'll do a shot.
Just added the water.
I'm using a 500-year-old stone.
Yeah. Can't mess with this right here.
Safety.
You have our ingredients listed right here. Like to see you out here, Dave Ramsey. Wait, is that Gordon Ramsay? Wrong person. Welcome. Sawadee, mahaba, namaste, hola, privyet, kaiso, konnichiwa. We're all family here, so subscribe, share, and get your free ebook in the description below. Morning, glorious people. We're starting our day off around like 8 o'clock. Headed to the bank so we can go to the Mayan cooking class with our friend Elise and hopefully Andy. It's not too hot, but it's definitely a hike. So we will see you there. We finally made it to breakfast, and guess who we found? It's Andy!
On the street.
On the street. I was like, I think I know that dude. Andy! Andy! I'm so American.
Yeah, loud.
Yeah, just a little bit. And then you ended up getting what?
Right here?
Yeah, like, what are you ordering for breakfast?
I got huevos rancheros.
Chancheros.
Huevos rancheros.
Huevos concheros. And then Skylar, you got. Oh, okay. How did you say what Skylar got? Loncheros.
Was it? No, you got.
It's like
Lagomisa.
Lagomisa. I was average. I just got fried jack and eggs. Jack made out of.
It's the same flour.
It's tortillas.
Yeah.
Tortilla,
Okay.
but instead of tortilla grilling it, we fry it. And then
Gotcha.
it becomes like a pocket. So
It looks nice. I can't wait to eat it.
Enjoy.
Thank you. On our tour. Hi, Andy. I'm so slap happy. It's not even. We piled into the van, excitement buzzing in the air. I couldn't help but reflect on the journey so far. Meeting these once strangers in the ATM cave on day 2 was a twist of fate that turned into a cherished bond. Like, swimming through the cave and trying not to die was so amazing. If you haven't seen that adventure, you definitely should check it out. We're finally here. Ooh. So peaceful here. Good morning.
Village, we can proudly say that it's one of the only villages in the Cayo district that still keeps its culture, where we can hear people still speaking the Mayan language. We have farming, a lifestyle of farming. This is what we do for a living. We have a population of around 3,500 people living here as well. So this is what makes San Antonio. We are known to be a farming village, okay? Over here, as I say, because of being Mayan people, then we practice farming, our language, our food, our medicinal plants. These are things that we keep practicing. If someone in our family would feel ill or not feeling well, we would immediately find some maybe home remedies for them, teas, baths, or just leaves that we can use for swelling or something like that. Easy things that we can make until we see that if there's anything serious, then we would find a doctor. But our lifestyle is to practice our home remedies. That is what makes us um, different to other communities or people living in town where we still have our resources around us. Okay. You're here because you will be learning about the food that we have. As per being Mayan, we depend a lot on corn. So this morning you will be learning about the corn grinding, the processes that it takes before we make food out of it. So this is what you will be learning. It's a hands-on experience. After the kitchen presentation, you will be moving to making pottery. Pottery is something that keeps us connected with our culture as well, with our history. Unfortunately, it was lost, and we're trying to revive this kind of art again. And when you go to the pottery section, you will learn a little more about why we are making this kind of art. Okay, so this morning I hope you feel at home. If you have any questions, feel free to make your questions. We will be willing to assist you in every way we can. Okay, the restroom, in case when you're here during your stay, if you need to use the restroom, we have that green building over there. Is it green? But they have that building over there, and that's the restroom. The back over there we have water which is purified water. Feel safer with it. Our ice as well. So this is what we have for you to offer this morning, as I say. So if you have any questions, you let us know and we will be gladly to assist you. Okay? Things that we would be using, just because they have a different way of preparing it, a different dressing style. The language would be different as well. The preparation of the food would be different as well. But they use the same ingredients, same products that we would be using here. Just as in a different way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How did you learn how to speak Maya?
I grew up learning that because I myself come from a mixed family where my dad comes from a traditional Mayan family. My mom comes from a Spanish-speaking family. So growing up, I grew up with the family on my dad's side. So they all speak Maya. So I grew up speaking Maya with them. At home, we had to speak Spanish because of my mom. So that's how I learned Spanish. And I would say that, like, on myself, I was fortunate at my time. I was fortunate that I would be able to speak Spanish or both languages, because everybody was speaking Maya, but I knew how to speak Spanish and Maya. And very few family knew how to do that back then when I was growing.
And you learned English at school?
And I learned English at school. Mm-hmm. Yes.
All Belizeans are bilingual.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
Do you speak Creole as well?
I speak Creole, not that much, but yes, I can defend myself.
Can hold it down.
How did the women's co-op get started?
We started because as I say, we grew up with this lifestyle, and back then people didn't have that much opportunity, especially women. We didn't have that opportunity as to grow academically, find jobs, and the opportunities were limited for us. So when I was growing, I saw all this, and what I myself, I'm the founder of the organization. I myself, when I was coming out from or finishing my primary school, I had an opportunity to go to high school to further my educations, and I couldn't make it because of limited resources that my parents had. And then back then we didn't have like a way of transportation going to San Ignacio, so we had to go to San Ignacio for school. So those are things that challenges that we had back then, and I couldn't make it. Even I had the like opportunities, scholarship opportunities, I couldn't make it. So I stayed with it in me. And when I got married, then I went home and I was just by myself and doing nothing there. But because I loved reading, I was reading way back before. From when I came out from school, I continued reading books. I teach myself on making recipes and practicing stitches and all other things, because I had friends in town that they would give me magazines. So magazines were the only things that I was reading back then. And I practiced what we had at the back of the magazines. They had little skill stuff that you can read. So that is how I taught myself. Then I started gathering women that were interested and started sharing among these friends that I had, and they loved it. And each week we would go from one family to another one, to houses to share these ideas. And people liked it. The word spread, and ladies started coming over because we were there. We wanted to learn. We wanted to make things, but because because of the limitations that we had, we couldn't make it. So when this started, then I was happy, and we started gathering $1 to cover expenses among the women that come together. And we said that's how we taught ourselves. Then we furthered by finding assistants with the women's department, and that's how we keep up. It started all little by little. In the Mayan culture, you wouldn't hear about Halloween, but you would hear about the Days of the Dead, where they would make special kinds of porridge. At this time of the year, then we can see altars, we can see people taking food to the graves. They would taking it to the farm of the owners that have passed away. So these are the type of beliefs that we still have. But we use the black corn in that occasions. Most of the time we would have white corn. And just because of choice, we use the yellow for the animals and white for eating. If we run out of white corn, we would use yellow as well. It works the same way. All corns work the same way. But before we make I mean that we're making food.
It sounds funny.
Yes, but before making food out of corn, we have to go through a process. The process which we call the nixtamalization of the corn. For this process here, we have to boil water. And to the boiling water, we have to add white lime.
What?
White lime.
Lime?
Yes, white lime, which is made out of limestones.
Oh.
So the limestones, they would be gathered and they would be burned in high temperature. And it breaks because of the high temperature. It breaks and it pulverizes. Why it's a kind of like a calcium. So because this white lime was used for making walls, for plastering, for making floors, for building. In the Mayan temples, a lot of
Cocoa?
Stucco.
Okay. Stucco.
So it's been used a lot. You can even use it to keep the pests away from the farms, because this is bitter. It's really bitter. So what they would do to disinfect the farms, if we have a lot of ants or bugs that are eating our plants, you just spread it there, and it keeps the bugs away. And it's an organic material that we're using for our farms. So that's how we prepare corn before we start making food. Over here, we have the grinding stone. Back then, people didn't have any blenders. They didn't have any way of grinding their corn. All they had was stone. Okay. This stone that we have here is made out of granite. This is what we call in Spanish we call the metate. In Maya we call it ka. The metate and the mano. This is what we would use for grinding. And this is made out of granite. Granite is one of the original stones that you can find in this region here. Our neighboring countries would have a black colored stone. If you look back at the back over there by the stump, we have the one that's the black colored. That one there is made out of basalt, which is from the volcanic material. So that's how you identify again. That it helps in preserving the corn. It helps in cleaning the corn. As you would see that the corn has a parched layer on the top. You can just touch it, you can feel it. The top layer, it's really hard.
Yeah.
And this here becomes popcorn. No,
Try it.
You won't try it. Go ahead. Yes. As you would see, this is hard. And this is undigested for our stomach. So you cannot eat the corn with this little layer here. So the white lime softens it. When we are ready to prepare food, we take the amount that we would be using, we wash it very well, and this top coat on the corn will easily come out.
We boil it or just wash it?
We have to boil it first, and then when it cools down, when we will be using the corn to prepare the food, we wash it as when you would be washing rice. So when you rub it against the oven, then it peels off.
Yeah.
Easily peels off.
But the corn doesn't get all mushed?
No, that is what we have here.
That's so cool.
So the top layer of this is what has been removed. The white line helps in preserving the corn for some days, because when we take off the corn from the white line, then it's ready for us to start preparing food, and it easily ferments after we take it off the white line. So it helps in preserving the corn. It adds calcium to the corn as well. If you remember, in the history of the Mayans, there was no dairy products. They didn't have milk, cows, anything. But it's being said that this is the way how they would absorb calcium for their bodies. So it adds. Also, that's how we get these stones from our neighboring countries. Mexico, Guatemala, Salvador, they have these kinds of stones. Our original piece would be this type of stone. And if you would see, they do not have feet. They are just a piece of stone that's shaped. And by using it, it wears off and it forms its shape from the inside. And each stone would have its handpiece that fits in it, and that is how you get the shape for it.
How old would that potentially be?
Okay, based on archaeologists that have been around here, they say that this stone here would be around 500 up to 600 years old. This one here. It's a stone that has been passed from generation to generation. Over. So this corn here is ready for us to start grinding. And the grinding process is this. So over here, when we're ready, we just press the corn. What I'm doing here is that press the corn in between the stones, and I push it down there. I leave the little that I taken, put it here. Basically that, pressing the corn. We do not have to put that much pressure in it. The stone does a lot of it. We just do it the right way. That's what.
And it's say one Pidishpa?
Ak, which is the sauce.
So tomatoes and peanuts?
And peanut. It's instead of how can I explain it? Similar to pico de gallo, but in this occasion we would roast the tomato in the charcoal, and then take off the dark skin of it, and then we smash it. We add onions and cilantro, pepper, and we dilute the grounded peanut in it.
That's good. Yeah.
Really good.
Mhm.
One of the best sauces. Yeah. You won't find those in town.
That's interesting.
Could we find it here?
Yeah.
Would anyone be?
We can request.
Oh, we can request, guys.
There's some good English. So over here, if you want to feel the texture, this still has you can pass it around so you can feel the texture. What you skipping, huh? I see. What I would do here, I would add a little water, little moisture, because we are making a dough.
This is masa then?
That's masa.
So masa powder is this dried?
Yes. Even so I'm making a dough right away.
And this will make one tortilla or?
One or two. Okay, I do it over again.
Alright.
So when you're grinding corn, you don't do it wrong. If you don't do it on the first time, second time, just keep doing it until you have it ready.
Don't stop everything up.
Take it that thought.
So satisfying how it comes off the rock.
Yeah, it doesn't stick to the rock or anything.
It doesn't
Get
stick to
inside.
the
Yeah.
Can you tell a difference when using the granite versus the basalt?
Actually, it doesn't have.
There's no,
It
okay.
doesn't have. Just because when. Oh. I guess so. What we find out that sometimes when they're new, they start producing like a dark color of dough, so you have to wear it up before it starts. You have to cure it.
Cure it, yeah.
Do you use it for anything else? Like grinding spices? or
Spices.
other stuff?
I grind pepper over here. Peanut.
You use a lot of garlic?
So what would you use the peanuts for?
Peanut butter.
We do
Peanut oil.
we do like sauces. We do peanut gravy for our meats, which is really good. We call it pipián.
Straight to you from San Antonio, Mayan village in Belize, and we're having our bake-off. We have our first contestant right here. She is throwing down. She doesn't know that she's gonna lose to one of us because our food is gonna be better.
Really long.
Okay. We have our grill cooking here, and we have our expert taste tester. He's gonna tell us if we can make it back to San Ignacio.
Andy.
Never get after it?
Andy, he's being tapped in.
Take it.
Skylar, do you think you're prepared to throw down with the tortillas?
I think Andy got good though. It's going.
Yeah. I'll do a shot.
Just added the water.
I'm using a 500-year-old stone.
Yeah,
Need that.
can't mess with this right here.
Safety.
You have our ingredients listed right here. Like to see you out here, Dave Ramsey. Wait, is that Gordon Ramsay? Wrong person. Then we have Skylar. She's gonna put in work.
That's much.
She proceeds to roll out tortilla dough. Look at the wrist work. I think we're gonna be full, guys.
With that one tortilla we're making.
It's gonna feed a village.
Slide it a little longer.
Okay, all the way up.
Oh, but Jesus.
To honestly say, this was like one of the hardest things that I've ever done. And if I had to compare making tortillas with making the chocolate, making chocolate was so much easier than this. Would you hire me?
That. I press with my fingers and I turn. As I press, I turn. That's basically what I would look forward to do. My little pinky, I keep it on the edges to prevent it from the little cracks on the edge. So that is what I do here. I do it once because I already have the practice to do it. And that's how I spread my dough evenly. And it makes it round as I keep my pinky.
Nice. Okay. She made that.
So
Sorry.
basically,
It's so easy.
basically, the dough needs to be spread evenly. At the end, I just seal the edges as if I would be doing pie crust. Remember when you did the pie crust? Like that's right. Okay. If you want me to repeat that, I receive it. Just give us a shot.
Is it looking better? Is he gonna leave me for another woman?
What is that? Is that a rooster?
Yes.
It's coming out good
There's
now.
like another one.
Okay.
It's hard to
It makes
regulate.
people crazy sometimes.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And back here, we have had some serious issues with people because they drink that alcohol. Oh, it makes people crazy. And then it keeps you drunk like for 2 days. 2 days.
It's like in your bloodstream.
2 days. There was a young guy that
She was like,
that
wait a second.
about 2 months ago. He took it to the field and he made a bucket.
Makes sense.
Depends how much
The
you
police
drink.
came after it.
Yeah,
because
that's a real thing.
it's a real thing, yeah. It's
Oh.
just strong. He drank of it, and their friends. Just after 3 drinks, he said that he was already feeling drunk, and he kept drinking. And then when by the time his friends brought him home, he was like just a piece of cloth, and he couldn't get up until 2 days after.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
get
it's
some of that.
real, but it's pure corn. They just ferment the corn like for 15 days.
Wow.
It's, with a bucket, you can have a big party. But then it's a lot. There we go. Yes. If you just try it, that air bubbles goes into it, and then it doesn't cook.
What did she say? Slide it
It's
on.
like
It's just kind of
Lay it on.
lay it
laying
on.
on.
Yeah.
Okay, it's all
You
you.
want me to do
Can
it
I
first?
lay it on?
Give it a shot. Give it a shot. There you go.
Find me a husband.
He has the fulfill.
Don't burn yourself.
Wow.
Okay.
Give it a minute. Give it a
Cut
minute.
it off
We
first.
got one more time.
I'm not sure if you're gonna follow.
Okay.
Mine's gonna pop
This
up.
is
I can
what
see
we're
it.
looking for when we're making a tortilla. The puffing indicating that it has the right moisture in it. It's well cooked, and that is what gives it the flavor.
Let's go, girl. I know you can do it.
It's flipping.
It's puffing.
You want it?
It just needs a little help, okay?
It's not gonna puff. We're not gonna.
Okay, let's go.
There
You can also find a husband.
She's
Beauty and she's nice. Oh, damn. I almost dropped it.
Will I find a man? Will I find a man? Will I find a man? Coconut and a little bit of salt.
Just for you to taste. As I said before, you can have them with eggs. Normally,
This one, this melon.
Yeah. It's fire.
Guys, we gotta do cheers.
Too late.
Too late.
Everyone's already taking their bite. I'm waiting.
Corn porridge.
Like
She said,
Ole?
try it first.
yes.
man, I gotta learn this recipe.
Oh, guys, can we do a cheers?
No, we can do that one.
Okay.
Bye.
Hello.
Freaking Robin's
Very little sugar that it has. And very little sugar that it has. But this is all what we have done here is dilute the same corn dough that we did in water. We boiled some water and we added the diluted dough in it. You can thicken your porridge to the thickness that you want. If you want it a little more watery, you can just leave it watery. You want it thick, you cook a little more and it thickens by itself. If you have a choice, you can add cinnamon to it. Cinnamon sticks. You boil your water with cinnamon sticks. You can add chocolate to it, and it's really good. With the chocolate, it's really good.
Allspice.
That's my best. Allspice. Seeds, cloves.
Yeah,
That's gonna be a good drink.
I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
We have more here.
I don't know about all that, but
Did they drink this anytime or was this?
Anytime, because this is in a traditional family. As mom gets from Benin, this is the first thing she would make. So if the husband doesn't have time to have a breakfast, she would fill a container of this, and this is what the husband would take with him to the farm. If kids don't want to have breakfast, this is what they would do. For nursing moms, this is really good as well. So it's very, very common. Is it easy to make? It's easy
yeah,
to
it's
make.
just that dough boiled, like just.
Have you ever made custard? Have you made custard? Okay, you see the custard.
Same idea, like it's
Yeah.
thicker the more you mix it.
Yes. So you just add water and you dilute the dough in water and you add it to the pie.
One water.
Yes. But what the idea of having this for you to taste is that you can see from here, people can survive with corn, as we said before. You can other types of drinks out of corn. We had other food that we can make out of corn as well. We have the famous tamales. We have and the process of the corn. When the corn is green, we can do the tamalitos, which we mentioned before, which is sweet. We can use young and we can use dry. So in different ways that we can use it. Okay. Yes. So it's a lot of things that we can make.
What's the most difficult thing would you say to make with corn that you?
Dish.
Like a complicated dish, to me, it would be like baking it. When we would want to bake, like I'm not so familiar to making cornbread, so that makes it difficult to make. Because if we have to start all the way from scratch.
Maybe call it a little, like, something like a fungi that gets on the corn that dark,
It's a little black color.
Yeah.
It's a type of mushroom that grows on the corn. But what farmers do on purpose, they open the corn in the stalk. When the rain falls, it goes into the corn and it produces a mushroom. And it's very
It's edible?
It's edible.
Yeah.
It's really like one of the exquisite recipes that you would get when you do that. But it's hard to make. Yeah, you can
see.
You got corn drinks too, the chicha.
Yes, that's like more like a
It's a alcoholic drink.
alcohol range out of corn. Fermented, yeah.
In our culture, but sadly it was lost, and we started working with pottery here in 2006. So when we started, we had to begin in making researches, testing our materials. Here in our area, we have different types of clay, and not all clay would work for pottery. When we started, we use a different material, make our pieces. At the end, our pieces, it all breaks, it explodes in the kiln. So it was not the right material that we were using. For getting our clay now, we have to go out by the river banks, and we would dig 3 feet underground. It's the cleanest clay that we can get. We get them in junks, bigger junks as what I have here, but it would still have moisture in it. So for this, we have to leave it out in the sun for 3 to 4 days so that it gets dry as what I have here now. When this is dry, this is easy to break. So we can just get a large stick and hit it with a stick to turn it into a powder. When we have the material into a powder, we then use a mesh wire for straining. This is to take out the impurities of the clay, like the stones and the root that it has. So we have to strain. After straining, this is what we would get that I have here, that it's just the clay itself now. So this is what we would get after sipping our material. When we have our material clean, this is ready for us to start making our mixturings. We would add the amount of clay that we will be using, and then we add 20% of sand to our material. This is a fine sand that we can also find here in our area. So we add the clay and the sand together. We mix the both of them very well, and then we can start adding some water. When we add the water, we then jump into swish with our feet, stamping in there like for 1.5 to 2 hours until we get the texture. So like the beginning, it's fun to be stamping in there, but after that your legs will be hurting. I have a picture on that side where you can see and how the guy, he is stamping on the clay, and that is how we would work with our material. So whenever we do our mixturings, we normally do large amounts of clay, maybe over 1,000 pounds of clay. So whenever we're ready for working with our pieces, we don't have to go through all this process. Any questions or good? Good? Traditional way of working with pottery is the coiling method. I don't know if you have heard about coils. Yes, no? Making like little rolls of clay, or making snakes with clay, I would say. Adding them together, forming our pieces, giving the shape and the height. After adding the coils, then we will have to smooth from the outside and the inside, and that is how they would work with pottery the traditional way. Working with coils, it does take a longer time. For a day, we might be able to make like 2 or 3 bowls depending on how large we are making our pieces. Here in the area, like everywhere we can floor, we can dig pieces of land, you can find these pieces here. So for this one, you can see like the little bumpy part here. So this is where the coils, they were joined, and then it was smooth. And then if we see on this side, we can also see that it has sand. So from these pieces, we also guide ourselves as like they were using sand in their mixturings, and we're also using sand because the sand helps the pieces to be more stronger. So then this is the reason why we would add sand to our pieces. For these pieces, we have been asking, and they say that's approximately like a 300 to 900 kg. So this is what you would have for the foils. We also tried other ways with working like with the molds, sculpturing, and then the wheel was introduced to us. Using the wheel, it is not traditional for us here, but it does help us a lot in producing our pieces. So this is the reason why we have the wheel. After creating our pieces, they are very soft. We are not able to work with them very well. So for this, if we have good weathers, we can leave it out in the sun for 15 to 30 minutes, or just leave it in here so that it gets leather hard. We see a leather hard because it's not too dry and not too wet. It's a right point in which we can work with our pieces. What I have here is what we would call leather hard. So this is the right point for us to work with the finishing parts of our pies. You can still feel the moisture. Leather hard, and this is bone dry.
I like the names. They're cool names.
Bone dry. Bone dry is ready for firing. When the pieces are of leather hard, that is the right point for us to work with the finishing parts. If we are going to add handles, that is the right time to add handles, or we can trim the bottom part. Like for this one here, we would remove the extra clay and make like a little ring so that the pots can sit very well. If we want to give it a natural color, I have a smooth stone here, a river stone, and what we would do is that we would polish. We polish to seal the pores of the clay. Can you see here? Polishing here to seal the pores of the clay. After polishing with the stone, I have a piece of plastic here that I will be using for polishing as well.
That's what made that waxy texture?
Yes. With plastic, we can use a piece of plastic or cloth. You can see the different colors. It gives a little shiny look. Very smooth. So after polishing with the stone and the piece of plastic, then we leave our pieces to get bone dry. And this is what we would get. So when we have our pieces on bone dry, we fire them. And after the firing, then this would be a natural color that we would get.
Oh, wow.
So this is what we would get after polishing with the stone and with the plastic. For giving colors to our pieces now, we have the white, the red, and the black. And actually those were the three main colors that they were using back then also. So for getting our colors, we are using the same clay that you can find here in our area. We have here, I have an example of the white clay. For this, we have to make the same process. We have to get our material. We leave it out in the sun to get dry. When it's dry, we pound it to turn it into a powder. This is a white clay. So what we would do now is that we would dissolve this in water. We dissolve this very well, and then we leave them in containers as what we have here so that it settles. This would take approximately 16 hours for it to settle very well. The one that would sit here in the bottom, I don't know if you can see from where you are, But the one that sits here in the bottom, it's the coarse part of the clay. The one that sits in the center, it's the finest part that we can get, and that is what we apply for our colors. The one that sits at the top is just water, so we get rid of the water and just use the finest part. Archaeologists would call this a terra sigillata, that is known as a clay slip. That is just the mixturing of clay and water. So using the wheel, it's not traditional for us here, but what makes our pieces traditional are the colors that we apply. That is just clay and water that we're applying, and this makes our pieces traditional here. But the colors that we have found, we can mix them and we make lighter colors or brighter colors. And also, like before, they used to write their stories, their glyphs on their pieces, but now for us, we're making our own. We make our own drawings, our own patterns on our pieces. So for this one here, this guy, he's making like the jaguar dance, but then at the same time, he's representing the guy that is stomping on the clay. And then we had another one similar to this, the guy is stomping on the clay, and then at the back it had the lady with her grinding stones. So like these are the stories that we're writing now in our pieces, or just making different patterns, different drawings on our pieces. You start to see on that side, we have other pictures of other pieces that we have made with the different patterns, different drawings that you make on our pieces. Here I have these pieces here. I will say we have them as a puzzle. Still other pieces are missing. It seems to form like a large bowl. But then for this one, we can see the little reddish color here and the black little stripes at the top. So they would say that colored pieces would be special pieces for them that were used in special occasions only. And then the pieces that had no color, then those were the functional pieces that were used at home. So this is what you would have. And what I explained are just the basics on how we work with our pottery, making it real. It is a long process that we go through, like from getting our material to giving a finishing part to a piece. Okay, so I don't know if you have any questions. Well, we're good.
No, that was very thorough.
So if you want to take your pot, I would recommend you to make it a little thick.
Thick? Is this thick enough?
Yes.
Okay.
Talking, gossiping.
I'd watch a whole movie, like, oh my goodness, you know?
If we watch movies, we're not gonna
You're not
finish.
paying attention. You're gonna stop stopping.
Oh no,
You have to watch a movie that someone does.
I had to start over, and I just had to laugh at my own mistakes. But each restart only deepened my appreciation for the craft. The final piece, although imperfect, held a special place in my heart. I wish I could have took it home with me, but had to stay here. A testament to our amazing journey. This experience transported me back to my days studying archaeology, where we would marvel at the ancient pottery unearthed from archaeological digs. I remember the thrill of discovering shards of history, each piece telling a story of its own. The broken pottery found spoke volumes about the lives of those who came before us, and now my own creation would join the ranks of those silent storytellers, waiting to be discovered and appreciated by future hands.
It's similar to spinach. It's rich in iron. It has been boiled and sauteed with some onions and garlic. On the center of the table, I have the corn tortilla, the hot sauce. It's a homemade smoked habanero sauce. Enjoy.
Is it spicy?
Not really.
Fine.
Okay, I'm gonna try.
Okay, that's
For ones that cook.
Initially, the thought of visiting San Ignacio kind of filled me with a little bit of nerves because I didn't know what to expect. But now it feels so familiar and comfortable, like strolling in the park. Each day unfolds as a new adventure, and with every experience, I feel myself growing, creating beautiful memories with these newfound international friends. From Mexico to Japan, our travels have woven a tapestry of unforgettable moments, and I can't wait to see what comes next. Made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this information helpful and feel inspired to come try this out. If you have any resources to help fund this beautiful work, please reach out to the ladies. I will be linking their information in the description. Don't forget to check out the rest of our content. Like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for our next adventure. Until next time, bye!